The new MacBook Neo has an iPhone chip from the previous generation iPhone. Is this thing even going to be able to keep up with regular day-to-day computing tasks? Honestly, super valid question, and I did some digging into it, and yes, the A18 Pro actually benchmarks very closely to the M1, which was the original chip that the MacBook Air was launched with. And here's the thing, something we have yet to test. When the A18 Pro was benchmarked, it was benchmarked in a cell phone, one of the most thermally inefficient devices we have out there. We now have a crazy performant chip in a laptop with a bunch more cooling headway. I think we're going to be blown away by how much performance we can get out of this thing. Even if we benchmark same to the iPhone 16 Pro, I think we'll be in a good place. But when you consider that we have this new chassis with a bunch of aluminum used for cooling, I think we're going to be blown away. And even better, the A-series chips and M-series chips use the exact same architecture. We're not going to run into the same problems we had when we were moving from Intel Macs to M-series Macs. There's no adaptability that needs to happen. Native apps programmed for macOS M-series chips will work right out of the box with this thing just as fast as they would on any other computer. That being said, that is all on paper. One of the first things I do when I get my hands on this thing is put it through the absolute ringer. So make sure to follow along if you guys have anything specific you want to see tested, and let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. The new MacBook Neo only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Is that enough, or is this thing going to be obsolete next year? Of course it's enough. Everybody leaving this comment has no idea what this laptop's trying to be and hasn't used macOS in the last 5 years. So let's remember, this is a $600 laptop. If you wanted to spend a little bit more, you can upgrade to the new base model MacBook Air and get those specs you need. The idea with this thing is keeping the cost as low as humanly possible. Plus, people always forget that Apple's RAM goes so much further than comparing it to a native Windows computer. Because the hardware and the software are optimized by the same company, Apple's computers run so much more efficiently on the same amount of RAM than they would on Windows. There's no one-for-one comparison, but some people say it's about a 50% lift, so 8 gigabytes of RAM on a MacBook is going to be roughly equivalent to 12 gigabytes of RAM on a Windows machine. And again, this is for writing papers, watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix, doing your emails. This isn't trying to be rendering 12 consecutive 3D designs and editing a video at the same time. This is targeting a very specific market. There's certain things cut to try to reach that price point, and I think it does a very good job. If you need more than 8 gigabytes of RAM, this laptop isn't for you. Go get the MacBook Air. That's why this exists, and that's why the MacBook Air got an upgrade this year. I don't agree with this comment, and I think it's silly. Thanks for watching. Here's all the things the new MacBook Neo doesn't have. It doesn't have a backlit keyboard. It doesn't have Apple's latest center stage webcam, just a regular 12 megapixel HD FaceTime camera. And it doesn't have Touch ID. So you pay the extra $100 for the 512 gigabyte model, that does come with Touch ID. This is one most people don't know. It also doesn't have the haptic trackpad. This is a physical trackpad, and it's one of the first times we've seen this on a MacBook in a while. And it doesn't have a $1,000 price tag. These are $600 laptops. The features that I just went over, I think make a ton of sense to cut and leave behind. They still have a processor that stacks up and is going to be able to do more than most people that are buying this type of laptop would ever need. I think they left behind the features that make sense, and they included the features that really make sense. With the student discount, these are only $500. I don't think you could get anything else on the market that comes even close to this. I've been super impressed with them so far. I'm gonna get my hands on one ASAP to test out for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the meantime, and I'll catch you in the next video.